right, so for the first few questions in the quiz, this was the function that we had. And question 1, let me darken that up a bit, there we go. Question 1 was find the average rate of change on the interval 3 to 5. So average rate of change for 3 to 5 simply means slope. So we're gonna want a point for 3 and a point for 5, and then we're gonna do the slope. So if we plug in 3 squared is 9, double that is 18, minus 3 times 3 would be 9, plus 1. So that will give us 10. And if we plug in 5 squared is 25, double that will be 50, minus 15 plus 1, and that will be 36. And so when you do your slope, subtract the y values, and then over subtract the x values. And most of you just left it alone, which was great. If you do simplify that down, it should equal 13. But if you simplify it down, you make a mistake, then it's not going to be right anymore. So you're better off just leaving it alone. Now, number 2 is find the derivative. I didn't take off for this. I really should have, so you're welcome. If you didn't write limit as h goes to 0 in front of the whole thing, it technically wasn't the definition of a derivative. A lot of you did all the algebra correctly and got the right answer, but you never wrote limit. Again, I didn't take off for that, but it really should be there. Okay. First thing is we're going to plug x plus h into the function. So for both of these variables, I plugged in an x plus h. And then it is minus the function, and then all over h. So now we have to expand this out, and it's going to be a little bit of work for a second, but then, you know, stuff's going to cancel out. No, I'm not going to take off if you don't have the limit, because I don't want to be mean. If your answer's right, I pretty much leave it alone. I'm just letting you know on the AP exam, if they want a limit, they're not going to be as nice as that. They're going to want to see the limit there. I try to pretty much, if you have a right answer and your work kind of, I can see what your thought process was, I try to give credit for that because I feel like that's fair. And so this first part, x plus h squared, if you multiply that out, that's going to give you x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And we're going to distribute a 2 into that. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared. Then we're going to distribute a negative 3. And then we've got this plus 1 here. And then we're going to distribute the negative. And then almost everything should cancel out. So the 1s are going to cancel, and the 3x's are going to cancel, and the 2x squareds are going to cancel. And everything else you can factor an h out of. And almost all of you wrote this step. I was happy to see that. I feel like skipping this step is kind of not good because you can end up losing part of your answers. So just write it out. When we take out h, we're going to have 4x plus 2h minus 3. And then you're going to plug in 0 for h. So this is going to be gone. And so our derivative is 4x minus 3. Number 3 was find the instantaneous rate of change when x equals -1. Well, the derivative gives you the instantaneous rate of change, so we just need to plug -1 in, and that will give you -7. I didn't take off for this either. I had some people find that correctly, and so I gave full credit, but then they went further and wrote the equation of a tangent line. Be careful with that. You don't want to do stuff that's not asked of you. And this is going to sound like I'm telling you to be lazy, but only do exactly what the problem asks and no more. Don't do more work, because then you're not actually answering the question. The question was just, what's this instantaneous rate of change? And that was it. Now this one was an equation. We want an equation at x equals 2. I had some people use a number other than 2. That's just a direction following issue. Just make sure you read the problem real carefully. So we need a point for 2, and we need a slope. To write an equation, you need a point and a slope. So for the point, I'm going to plug 2 into the original equation. So 2 squared is 4, double that is 8, minus 2 times 3 will be 6, plus 1. So that's going to give us 3. And then slope of the tangent line comes from the derivative. So we're going to plug 2 into the derivative. And I had some people find the point correctly and then plugged something other than 2 in. Again, I think that's a direction following thing. Make sure you read the problem. It said add x equals 2. So if we plug 2 in here, that's going to give us 5. And so our equation is y minus 3 equals 5, x minus 2. All right, and then for these, we need the chart. It'll just take me a second, so hold on, let me write this out here. So 5 said, find the average rate of change on the interval 2 to 3. So that means I want a point for 2 and a point for 3. So our points are 2, 7, and 3, 2. And when I do the slope, I will get 2 minus 7 over 3 minus 2. Just stop. If you do work it out, you'll get negative 5. Some people did that, that was fine, but you can just stop there. And then last one, we want a tangent line that will allow us to approximate f of 1.1. That means we need to write the equation at 1. So again, we need a point and a slope. Our point is 1, negative 3. And slope comes from the derivative. So f prime of 1 from the chart here is 4. And so my equation would be y minus negative 3, so that'll be y plus 3, equals my slope, and then x minus 1. And it said to approximate f of 1.1. So all you have to do is plug in 1.1 and then just get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract this 3 to the other side.